Hey bud, hope all is well. Can the office is coming
The office
along.
has not moved
Love
at
you,
all.
chat.
We had our team meeting yesterday. Mixed feelings in the team about the office. Mixed feelings. Really mixed feelings. Like work still has not started on our office. Like not even started. They told us we're in the 17th of March. The flood happened before Christmas, so it was Christmas week. And they told us when I got back from Switzerland that we should be out for about a month. It has now been 3.5 months. And they've not even started yet. So we've been in contact with them. And they're saying we're going to have a meeting on site. It's the insurance company that's dragging its feet. Blah, 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 blah. The thing is, we're actually... I can't spoil any of the upcoming stuff we've got for you in the next couple of months. But there's stuff we're doing which, like, not being in the office actually fucking really sucks. Really, really sucks. But we're going to do the best we can for you guys. But, yeah, it really fucking sucks. And I've also had to spend a lot more money. I had to rent the van last weekend. I'm paying for a storage unit. I've now moved everything of ours out of the office besides some trash. Everything is gone. The only thing that's still there is a part of the fireplace set, which is too big to take out. But everything else is gone. I went and took everything over the weekend. When I was doing the couch run, I took everything good out of there. So it's gone. But it has been 3.5 months now. We're not paying for the office. But at the same time, nothing's happening with it. But we are on a 2-year contract. So it starts getting messy. We've got 2 years left on our contracts. We signed 3 years. And the thing that's bothering me about it is that the worse it gets in there, the more money and work we're going to have to put into putting it right again to be a useful space. Because we'd already outlaid and done all that, right? We'd built the sets. We'd wired the place for 10 gig Ethernet. We'd put soundproofing in. We'd done all that stuff. And that's all coming out. And we're going to have to redo it. Now, you might be like, well, just find a different place, right? That would be the obvious solution. Is like, let's just find somewhere else. It took us 2.5 years to find that place because what we do, we either need an entire building space or we need somewhere that's separate from any neighbors whatsoever. Because we can't, our job is loud, ultimately. Our job is loud. So every office space we went to see, there was like a call center nearby or a lawyer or a solicitor or something like that. And all the real estate agents are like, it'll be fine. It won't be that big of a deal. And it's like, dude, if I die in XCOM, I'm going to stream, you fucking cunt. I wish you would kill yourself uncontrollably. And that's not ideal if there's a solicitor next door through the wall. That's not ideal if somebody's in there discussing their case. And then I'm going to do drama time on a Friday where somebody's going to try and convince somebody to get on their knees wearing a leather ball gag and be eaten by gnomes like she's some greedy fucking witch lady. Again, not ideal. Not ideal. So it's not as easy as just find another space without renting out like a warehouse, essentially, to get stuff done, which is a viable option. We've looked at that as well. But that office was kind of perfect. It kind of suited us. Good local. It was within walking distance. So I walked there. It had all the space we needed. It was a good price. So we would like that office back. But now 3.5 months in, it's like, you're kind of taking the piss. Rent a pub. There is a pub very close to where I live that is up for sale right now. But a pub isn't ideal either. While it makes a good set and backdrop, it's not designed for streaming. It's not designed for that. And also, we can end up with too much space, right? We can end up with too much space. There's only 3 of us who work locally. There's 5 members of the team. Only 3 of us work in this area. We want Nups there, so that'd only be 4 people. That's not a whole building. Right? We'd be paying for a lot of space that's like just nobody's in for ages. Yeah, for now, like we were talking about what our goals going forward, like yesterday, and like who we want to bring in, what gaps do we think exist to fill things in. So yeah, it's all one of them. PG Beer went, I can run the pub for you. I don't want to open a pub. There's no money in pubs anymore. I have my landlord's license. I can run a pub. I went and did the exam and everything. I was convinced I was going to run. I always wanted to work with people. I love talking to people. I have the best time doing that. So, and my dad was a landlord. I grew up in pubs. And it naturally fell to me I managed a nightclub for a long time. So I was in that world. I was like, I'm going to get my own pub. And I went and did the exam and everything. And I have my landlord's license. And there's just no money in it. It's one of those jobs where you can work your balls off 20 hours a day for most of your life and walk out with nothing at the end of it. So unless you like get chains and franchises going, like some people get money out of it, but sounds like an MMO. There's a lot of people like that. There's a friend of ours who's just inherited a business from his father. And he's just found out after going in and looking at it that his dad has been working for 65 years, grinding his arse off. And he has less than £1,000 in his bank, like personally. 65 years of work. And he's retiring now. And he's just got nothing. He had his own business. For those 65 years, he had his own business. It was a construction business. But it's so competitive that unless you're doing like B&Q levels of volume, there's just not any profit in it. Like, as you know, with things that come up, you got to replace equipment. You've got to, you know, all the costs that come in. Yeah, it sucks. And he's like, Dad, I think we should sell the business because there's just no money in it. I don't want to spend. This guy was talking to me about it. He's like, what would you do? I was like, I would sell it. I'm not going to work for the next 6. If someone said to you right now, I took him out of his dad out of it. I was like, look, think of it like this. If someone said to you guys right now, here's this job for the next 40 years. Guaranteed. You're going to work. You don't have to worry about it. You've got a job for the next 40 years. But at the end of it, you will have less than £1,000 to show for it. You won't own a home. You'll be still paying rent until the day you die. And that's going to be retirement. And you have to work 6 to 7 days. You would say no, right? You would say, no, that's not what I want. But you'll obviously, if you're in that situation now, you're looking to do something better, right? And not particularly have fun doing it as well. You'd be like 200 years old by then. I said hard no a long time ago. Yeah, I mean, I was caught in that corporate world for a long time. I say a long time. Straight out of university, I went into the corporate world. And I left it when I was, so maybe 9 years. About 9 years, I was in the corporate world. And I had nothing to show for it at the end. Nothing. Besides being made redundant. It was shit. I was like, what the fuck is this? that was shit. Oh, we got the live letter coming? March 31st. Why do I feel like I've got something on that date? I'll have to double check. We'll still make the live letter, but that date rings a bell. I've got something to do. That rings a bell. Pension and compound interest, people. Yeah. 10 plus years of corp. Will just finished my long service leave here. Aye. This is why our calendar's got to be BIS. The official calendar. The official calendar coming in clutch. You went to uni at 31. Good. Learn something that you want to do that you enjoy. The saddest people I know in my older group of friends are people who stuck with a job that they weren't enjoying for about 20 years. And several of them have gone back to study in a field that they enjoy, like beauty. A lot of my friends have gone into beauty and have a great time doing it. They chill all day. They get some good conversations. They get to do beauty work. They've run their own little studios. Several of my friends have opened up the virtual restaurants. You know, when you order stuff off Just Eat and stuff, there's not an actual restaurant. It's like in a building, but it's still great food. They've gone into that kind of industry. All these new industries that didn't exist when you were a kid. It was pretty good. Well, if you're not enjoying changing a job either, you got to find something you enjoy doing, right? You got to find something you enjoy doing. Yeah, Ghost Kitchen. Yeah, Ghost Kitchens. So with everybody's ordering food, like less and less people are going out to eat. Everyone's ordering online with Deliveroo and Just Eat and stuff that. So people who are good quality chefs can open a literal restaurant without having to like deal with customers sat in there and waiters and staff, front of house people, all that kind of stuff. They could just make the food they enjoy making, and it's just delivery stuff. Great. Wonderful stuff. Yeah, it's so much easier to set up now. Like, that's what it is. Yeah, fuck front of house. Like, front of house is a pain in the ass. I consider myself a good customer, but I've seen plenty of bad ones, especially when I was managing a nightclub. You do a job that makes more money regardless if you like it or not. Can't choose something that makes pennies. I mean, I didn't do that. My previous job made a lot more money than streaming did. I think my profit in the first year of being a full-time streamer was less than £100, realistically. There were definitely some days when a donation that came through from streaming helped pay my rent. That definitely happened to me in my first year of doing it. But I looked at the idea of doing what I was doing for the next 20 years, and I just fucking hated it. I never mentioned it on stream. I never said it on stream for sure, but there were definitely days when like a £20 donation that came in via streaming was like, oh good, I can pay the rent. That is a true situation. Or I think the worst down bad I was in the first year of full-time streaming was because this was after YouTube cut everything. So I went full-time when it should have been reasonable, and then YouTube, like, slashed all our revenues. This is before the adpocalypse. This was just when they decided to start slashing the revenues on advertisements. And also, I think after I went full-time, one of the things I didn't expect was that our ad block rate for people using ad block on web browsers went from, like, 60% to about 88%. So, it just like took all your money away. It was as simple as that. But we had no food in the house. And I hadn't eaten since midday the day before. And I think someone donated a $5. This is a true story. And I immediately withdrew it from PayPal to my bank account, told the stream I'll be back in 5 minutes, and I ran to the shop, got some bread and something else, and came back and made a sandwich. That was where I was. That was what I did. That was like 6 months after full-time streaming. That was like 6 months after doing it. Yeah, that's a totally true story. I remember that happening ridiculously. It was grim. It was pretty grim. It was pretty grim. And that was the point where I was like, I think we've give this a try. We've got a jacket in. Like, it's not worked out. Because not that we weren't doing successfully, all our numbers were up and up and up and up and up. That was the stupid thing about it, is the actual effort I put in translated into far more viewers. It translated into growth and everything. But at the same time, Google was like, well, we're just going to pay you less. And at the same time, all the viewers that we were gaining were all like ad blocking us. So we weren't earning anything off it. So it's like, yeah, loads of people are fucking watching and all that kind of stuff. But it doesn't matter. It doesn't turn into anything. It worked out in the end. Yeah, it worked out in the end. But we suffered a bit. For that. It was a rough one. Imagine that happened now with the cost of living crisis. You'd be out of streaming. It depends. Like, what's the worst thing that could happen now? One of the worst things is Twitch. The worst thing that could happen is we get banned off Twitch for something. I don't particularly think that's a thing, but I didn't think that about YouTube either. And look what happened there. So that would happen. Yeah, being banned off Twitch would probably be a bit of a death nail. I don't think so. I think we'd be fine on YouTube, but we certainly couldn't afford the staff and stuff. Well, you gotta prepare for these things. I always think about these things. I'm always a worrier that tomorrow everything could go away. I've been through it twice, man. I've been through the YouTube channel dying. You know what I mean? I've been through it fucking twice. I've been through it when we quit covering World of Warcraft. What that's going to be? It's bad. They went for the stream, got a lot of sandwiches, yeah. At YouTube, we got hit with the adpocalypse, where YouTube just sent out an algorithm that basically just went through every video on the platform and decided that whether channels were eligible for monetization or not. Now, that's a bit of a simplification of what happened. What they did is they decided if you were eligible for the good monetization. So they have multiple tiers on YouTube. If your channel's clean as a whistle, this is why children's channels are so popular, because they have to be clean. And that's why a lot of people started trying to sneak adult-y style videos into the children's sphere. You might remember like Elsa pissing on Spider-Man and all that kind of stuff. So that means you get the normal high tier monetization. right? If you're clean, everything's good, you get the normal high tier. Now, for a long time, they just changed this again last week, actually. If you swore in a video, if you used a swear like a naughty boy, they didn't care. If you were getting a lot of views, it didn't matter, right? It didn't matter. They were fine with it. You're still eligible. Then, I think it was, I can't remember the year, 2010? No, 2000, maybe 2016, somewhere like that. They decided they weren't going to do that anymore. So they sent out this algorithm that went through and found all the swears and stuff in videos, all the curse words. And if you had too many, it just knocked your channel down from normal monetization down to what they call the dregs, essentially. So you get paid for 1,000 views, right? On average, that's how they measure it. So it could go from like $10 to $12 per 1,000 views. It dropped to like as a 50 cents or $1, right? It was crazy. It was just wacky. And that night, when we saw, it was on Twitter, is that the adpocalypse was happening and this algorithm was going around. I literally sat on our YouTube dashboard, and every time I refreshed, our videos were changing from the green light, which means you're good, to the yellow light, which means you're fucked. And every time I refreshed, more and more of them went there. They just all started disappearing. And then our channel got hit with the, in general, your channel is bad. You're a bad people, and we don't want anything to do with you. So, get fucked. And we were like, oh, okay. Wow. So, I had to have a meeting with Emma and Andy at the time, and I was like, guys, we can't afford to pay you anymore. You guys need to find another job. But we stuck with it, and that's when we set up things like Patreon, and which is now our website, in order to keep the YouTube channel running. Because we didn't want to lose it, to see what happened. And it was one of those where the community came in and sorted it out. Now you're embracing the hoodie yellow. Yeah. That was a bad time, man. That was a bad time. But they've just relaxed it a bit. They've actually just relaxed it. They're not going to be as harsh as they were now, seemingly from last week. Yeah, 31st of March, we're all set. Firing your wife, that's cold. It was actually harder than that, right? I can't do my job without Emma doing what she does. It's impossible. I have children. We live together. If I had to definitely end the stream every day at 2:30 to go and pick the kids up, because if Emma worked somewhere else, like full time, she wouldn't be, like her previous job, she wouldn't be finished until like 5-6 p.m. and usually going out before 7. That's what she did in her previous sales job. So that would mean that the kids fall to me. And I couldn't do, if I started the stream later and had to finish it early every day and then take care of the kids till like 6-7 p.m. before Emma got home, I wouldn't have time to do anything else. So it would be fucked. It'd be fucked. So yeah, drama's basically a guaranteed demonetize. Yeah. I mean, monetized on YouTube. We'll see how the new changes. We get like some that are demonetized and some that are not. It's very up and down. Because the plan was, if we ever got fully remonetized on YouTube, we would just cancel Patreon and stuff. Because we don't want to be taking that money to run something that's for free, like whatever. But what happened is it ended up being like a 50-50 shot in the dark. We could go a week where everything was demonetized, and then suddenly maybe the next 4 videos were fine, and then the next 10 weren't. It was all over the place. It was a complete mess. It was a total mess. Oh, thanks, model. I'm not complaining. You guys are amazing. I'm not complaining. I'm just explaining the situations that we've been through, which are a little bit scary. They can be a little bit scary. But it's one of those reasons you can't do this. He's traveling to CrawlerCon? Yeah, have a good time. Fucker. Have a good time. All you guys go to CrawlerCon. Have a good time. Well, the Patreon's still there, more because some people don't like the website. Alright, you're definitely not getting killed today, Decadence. How's that? Bye! You're definitely not getting killed today. You're definitely not getting killed today. Now, if that would have happened in 2016, I would have bought 2 sandwiches with that. 2 sandwiches. Now, imagine my joy at receiving 2 sandwiches coming in at the same time. Imagine that would have happened. That would have been amazing. Have a great trip, Decadence, and thank you so much for everything. Streamers lagging. Yeah, pay to win. 2 sandwiches, not being killed. Alerts lagging the stream. 100 coming out. I don't know whether we have something running in the background. We might have. 2 sandwiches. Yeah, what the fuck are UK prices? We're doing our best. We're doing our best. Oh, don't be sending me these all day. Yes, yes. Have a good time.
I'm still top though with 140.
Tejas is still the God King. Have fun at CrawlerCon, everybody. Have fun. I was actually miserable this morning about CrawlerCon. Emma's left now. I won't see Emma now. Oh, I might see this afternoon when she drops James off. So they're going away till Sunday, till Mother's Day. Very important. And she's like, "You're not being particularly cuddly." And I was like, "Yeah, have a great time." I haven't got anything planned to do with my youngest son. Anything good. I haven't got anything cool to do with him tomorrow. He looks forward to the daddy days so much. And I haven't got anything super planned. I've got jobs to do. I've got to fix the light in the bathroom. That's my situation. I've got daddy jobs to do. Daddy jobs. I've got daddy jobs to do. He doesn't want to go karting. I can't believe it, man. Oh, Kaimans, thank you so much. Thank you. Kaimans, that's so generous of you. Thank you very much. Do Eureka together? He's crap at video games, man.